The future of Sergio Perez with Red Bull has been brought into question yet again after the struggles that the Mexican driver endured during the Imola GP. And considering how close the pack is now to Red Bull and Verstappen, the Austrian squad would be smart to think twice before they continue the collaboration with their veteran driver. After Horner and Marko were seen chatting with Carlos Sainz Jr during the Imola GP, it does look like Sainz's future could be pointed towards a reunion between these two sides. But the real question is, are Red Bull ready for this move? And more importantly, will this bring trouble in paradise when it comes to Verstappen's dominance in the team and on the grid? It's safe to say that one of the weakest links that is placed in the strongest car on the grid is Sergio Perez. And although the Mexican driver sits third in the Drivers' Championship, that place is likely to be gone after the pace that has been shown from Norris in the past couple of races. What this goes to show is that Perez's mission in the sport, which has been brought to attention numerous times, that is to keep the team first in the Constructors' Championship and himself second in the drivers' category, is very unlikely to be fulfilled from the drivers' side. Christian Horner has spoken about the future of Perez, and the opinion of the 50-year-old Brit is loud and clear. The market is still moving, and if McLaren and Ferrari continue with this pace with both of their drivers, then the Austrian team would have no other option than to look at other drivers beyond Perez. Furthermore, Horner elaborated, "It was a shame for Checo to be out following the qualifying session. We ran a reverse strategy with him and he would go P8, and in the end P7 was the best we could see on our analysis before the race. We need him obviously up there supporting Max in the same way the two Ferraris and two McLarens are together." I think the whole driver market is sort of playing itself out, and we know exactly where we're at and where our options are, and in the timing that's right for us, we'll make decisions about the future. This is not something that should be given a blind eye, because we know how important the second seat in Red Bull of course is, and with Carlos Sainz now without a contract from 2025 onwards, the Austrian team also understands the importance of having two very strong drivers for the upcoming season. 2024 is slowly but surely shaping up to be a much harder season for them compared to the past 2 years, and after the departure of Newey, the last thing that they need is a shake-up in the drivers' lineup and a potential knockdown in the dominance that they're currently enjoying. If you look at things from a different perspective, a driver like Sainz would bring exactly what Red Bull needs, a competitive duo that would always extract the maximum out of the car, especially now when it looks like 3 teams would be fighting for the top of the podium week in, week out. The battle has already started in 2024, and Red Bull does not have a lot of time to lose, which was also proven by Christian Horner and Carlos Sainz Sr talks during the Imola GP. It could have been a chat about the good old times when Sainz drove for Toro Rosso, a team that rebranded into AlphaTauri and is now known of course as Racing Bulls, but it could also be a talk about the future and whether or not Sainz is ready to embark on the challenge of being Verstappen's teammate. Carlos has admitted that talks about his future beyond 2025 have stalled a bit and they're not moving at the greatest pace. However, that does not mean we are not going to see this scenario becoming a potential reality for the sport as well as the Austrian team. Sainz's options are quite narrow right now. He admitted to waiting for the situation to develop to a final point in Red Bull and Mercedes, and if these teams do not look like suitable options for him, then it's very likely he'd be forced to embark on the Sauber Audi project. In Mercedes, however, it is worth noting that there is a crucial barrier that neither side wants to release the gas on, and that is the years on the contract. Sainz doesn't want to sign anything that says 1 year on it, while Mercedes is not willing to commit to a driver beyond 2025 at this point, keeping the seat open for a potential sensational move by Verstappen or even the promotion of Kimi Antonelli. Be that as it may, the situation for Sainz is crystal clear. If Red Bull are willing to get rid of Perez, he will very likely have priority due to his performance and the consistency that he's shown in the first 7 races of the season. Even Sergio Perez is now a bit worried about his future, and before the last GP, he was confident that the continuation of the work is more or less a done deal and all they have to do is put pen to paper with the team. That attitude, however, doesn't seem to be present in Perez right now, who went on to talk about his future with Red Bull, saying, "Nothing Nothing has been signed yet, so everything is still open, but I believe very soon we are getting into an intense part of the season, and I want to get it out of the way because I think it's important that I focus on the racing side. So yeah, I hope sooner rather than later everything can be finalised and we can share it with you. I think until nothing is signed, everything is an option for now. But there is yet another dilemma that Red Bull needs to answer themselves, and that is whether or not they are ready to put an outside hire next to Verstappen or promote from within. The general opinion of Horner when the season started was that the situation did not look the greatest in their sister team Racing Bulls, which is why it's highly likely that Sainz will be put in the same category as Tsunoda and Ricciardo, maybe even with a priority due to the form he was in. But now, with the Japanese driver's amazing performance in the past couple of races, it goes without saying that the Austrian team would think twice before putting Sainz into that seat and maybe give Tsunoda a chance to compete next to Verstappen. Everybody knows that the second seat in Red Bull is probably the most cursed and blessed one at the same time, given the fact that you'll drive in the fastest car on the grid, but then again, you'll have one of the best drivers the sport has seen, and undoubtedly the best driver on the grid currently as your teammate. If we are to judge by Sainz's latest performances, it seems like he's been dropping the ball quite a bit, with the car picking up the upgrade package and the setup changes that were done prior to Imola, finishing 10 seconds behind Leclerc in China, 7 in Miami and 15 seconds in Imola. That goes to show that maybe he's not the type of driver that Red Bull thought when he won the Australian GP on pure racing merit. But be that as it may, it's going to be a very interesting period ahead of us because Perez's future is quite uncertain and Red Bull are still reluctant when it comes to their driver choice. Yuki Tsunoda has also opened up about this, and the good news for Sainz, if he would be willing to drive in Red Bull, is that the Austrian team has not opened up this question yet with the Japanese driver. When talking about it, Tsunoda added, "I still have not heard anything from Red Bull regarding 2025, to be honest, so I'm not sure what is going on there, but if I get Red Bull's seat, that would be great. Racing Bulls are also in very good shape, to be honest, so if I can stay with this team, that would also be great. I have to think about the future. You never know what is going to happen, and if you get an interesting offer, you might have to consider it." If Red Bull does decide not to promote Tsunoda, they are at direct risk of losing him to Honda, with the Japanese manufacturer likely to push Aston Martin for an opening for the 22-year-old who has been driving the wheels off the car at every opportunity he gets. However, the nepotism there does not allow Lawrence to have a lot of chances to hope for, while on the other hand, it's unlikely that Alonso would retire before 2027. All of this points towards Tsunoda either staying with Racing Bulls or being promoted within Red Bull, and if the second one does not happen, rest assured that Sainz would be the driver to snatch that seat up right in front of Tsunoda and Perez's eyes. With this in mind, which driver do you think would be the best replacement for Perez? Let us know in the comments below, and when you've done that, have a look at the video that's appearing on your screen right now.